So guys, do you know that there's a noise ordinance guidelines in Los Angeles? So if you're thinking of coming to LA and hosting a party in your rented apartment, well, you need to think twice, of which you also have to ask your host if you can do so. But surprisingly, there is a law concerning noise pollution, of which I think there's a restriction in the area that I am in, which is Hollywood, from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. What time do these people want us to host parties? But if you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do, right? LA is such an exciting and charming city to visit. If you are short on time, 2 or 3 days will give you enough time to focus on few iconic highlights such as Hollywood and Santa Monica. So guys, I've compiled 10 tips to help you navigate your stay in LA. I got to know some of these tips on my research when I was in London, and I learned some of these upon my arrival and during my holidays here in LA. Are you ready for these tips? Okay, if you're ready, let's go on this ride. Tip 1. Learn to tip the American way. Yes, I know, the tipping culture in the US baffles every visitor, even including me. Unlike the UK, where most service charges are included in the bill, but this is not so in US. You don't want to shortchange someone because you don't understand this social norm. And do you know what? Tips is part of their salary here in USA. The most common instance where you need to tip is when eating at a restaurant. So guys, the general rule to thumb is to tip 15% for average service, 20% for great service, 25% for exceptional service. You don't need to tip at establishments where food is not served like KFC and McDonald's. And with the general rule, you have to use your own discretion. Yeah, your own discretion. And on a lighter note, McDonald's, it seems all the milkshake machines in LA seems to be on and off working. Anytime I get into any McDonald's restaurants or eatery, they tell me the milkshake machine is not working. Well, McDonald's, get that fixed, because some of us, we love our milkshake. It isn't sunshine throughout. Bring a jacket. There's a misconception that it's always hot in LA, but mind you, it is not true. It can get cold here at night, even in summer. There's a misconception that winter doesn't exist in LA, but it does, because it's more of geography. You know, LA is just a city that is surrounded by mountains. The mountains trap the rain and snow. So in the mountainous region, yeah, you see a lot of snow when it's during winter. So winter exists here, but it's just that the mountains trap the rain and snow. I did a little bit of geography in high school, so I can relate to that. The next tip, LA may be a city of glitz and glam, but dressed down. With all its movie stars and fashion icons, guys, I saw some of them and they were in their smart casual. So one thing that I also got to experience is that when you go to their restaurants or their theaters or even their pub, most of them are dressed formally. Like for instance, I had my cap on and they came to me to tell me to take it off. I was like, well, that's part of my identity, but you know what? I mean, that's their rule. So when you're walking around, going to the beaches or walking in the Hollywood Boulevard, I mean, most of them are in their casual vibe. So try to tone down on the high heels. You can trade high heels for sneakers. You can also trade shoes for sneakers with the guys. So, but when you're going to the restaurants, try to dress formal, because they might even not allow you to enter if you are so casual. Beware of smoking rules. I know some of my guys go like, yeah, coming here for the cannabis. The use of and possession of cigarettes, vapes, and cannabis is legal in California. However, the city has a strict regulations regarding where you can light up. Smoking is prohibited in public spaces, including indoors areas such as offices, restaurants, bars, and most parks. If you do want to smoke, check the local regulation. Yes, check it. Regardless of where you are, you cannot drive after consuming marijuana. Every privilege comes with certain responsibilities. You have the privilege to smoke marijuana. It comes with responsibilities. And mind you, if you're allergic to marijuana scents, LA is not the best city for you to travel. Look for another states. So the next is be open-minded towards different culture. California is the second most diverse state behind Hawaii, with an ethnic and racial diversity of 69.7% as of the 2020 census, and the nation's largest Hispanic population. When visiting Los Angeles, you are for a treat of married cuisine, cultural festivals, entertainments. I mean, when I went to the APAP, it was a fusion of hip hop and Latino music. This is where you have to be mindful of the conversation that you have with your political views or affiliation or religious affiliation or religious views. This is the time that, guys, you have to put it in your pocket and take it back home. I mean, don't engage in discussion. Like me personally, even no one knows about my political party. My faith is between me and God. I don't need to come and voice out what God has done for me. I don't need to come and voice out my religion to other people. Yes, I'm a true believer of God, but I don't need to come here and talk this. I mean, if someone is an atheist, that's to that person. If someone is a Muslim, I respect that person. So be mindful of your conversation because the population is very, very diverse. The next tip, plan your time or spend your trip stuck in traffic. Hey, I know that there's traffic in my country, Ghana. I've been to Nigeria, Lagos before, I know, but LA traffic, I don't know which one can beat the other. So if a train is available to where you're going, I would advise you to use the train. And I was in Hollywood. I used the Waymo driverless ride. It was quite a great and exciting experience. So professional driving by those robots. I wish to know their names. So I think it's 4 cities that are operating the Waymo ride. So Waymo ride is the driverless ride that is being powered by Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Yeah. So I would advise that you plan your time or spend your trip stuck in traffic. Always double your time when it comes to your travel journey. This next tip, be prepared of high level of homelessness. Homelessness is a complex issue in LA. A great number of people go without a roof over their heads on any given night, and seeing people living in the streets can be quite confronting. For me even, it was quite confronting. So educate yourself. If you're coming with children, it will be very, very confronting for them. So educate yourself, your kids. And this is when I'm going to entreat everyone to take care of their mental health. I had some interaction with some of them, and it was due to some life issues, bad friends, bad relationship, bad signing of contracts with record labels, a whole lot of things. Someone said, look, I was working with Microsoft as an engineer, got divorced, and everything came down. It's time to take charge of your mental health. 2024 taught me a lot about life. Now, my mental health is something that is my priority. So I'll entreat you to take charge of your mental health and show compassion when you see them. They are just humans like you. The next step is to watch out for the sales tax. In California and even in most states, you are subjected to sales tax every time you make purchase. Yeah, the sales tax is usually not included in the stated price. So you might go to a shop and you see $12. You're like, oh, this is cheap, and you pick it up. But it can be charged upon payment. I was educated on this. Like, I was like, it's $15 there. They were like, they had to educate me on that. Yes, so be mindful of sales tax when you come into California. So clothing is relatively cheaper in LA than that in London, right? As well as sneakers too. So I tried this experiment. I just came to LA with my sneakers, and on the first day I did my holiday clothing shopping in LA. You can try it, you'll love it. The next is always purchase travel insurance with good medical coverage. You heard the word medical coverage. For me, I think travel insurance is very essential when traveling around the world. This happened to me in 2019 when I was traveling to South Africa from London, and when I got to South Africa, they went on strike. Then I had to spend extra 4 days. With my travel insurance, they catered for the accommodation, my travel and food. What if I do not have any travel insurance? I would have catered for that, even though SA was part of the Star Alliance, but you know, people were now booking. So I was not lucky to get the 5th day to travel out of the country. So it's very, very, very important to have an insurance. So in USA, the universal health care is not as comprehensive as that's back in Europe. So guys, it's better you have a travel insurance that covers medical treatment. And non-citizens, yes, like me, I'm not an American citizen, are not covered by anything. So it's good to have a travel insurance. This is not an alarm. It's just a precautionary message. Be prepared for natural disaster. It's not frequent occurrence. Natural disasters are a feature of the life in Los Angeles. Something visitors should be prepared for. The city is prone to earthquake due to its position on the tectonically active Pacific Ring of Fire. Yeah, geography. I'm bringing my geography from high school. And there's an occurrence of 2 to 3 quakes per year on average. It can be that the day that you came is when you will experience that. So familiarize yourself with safety protocols such as drop, cover and hold on, and be ready to shelter under a table or a desk, not in a doorway if there is an earthquake during your holiday or travel. So try and get out of the building within 1 minute. If you cannot do so, try to shelter under a table or desk, not in the doorway, if there is an earthquake during your stay. The good news is that the LA County and Los Angeles City authorities send out mass emergency notification by telephone or text or via their website. Keep your phone nearer to you so that you can hear the emergency broadcast, because I know that even when it comes to emergency notification, it overrides when your phone is on silent. Yes, so these are my 10 tips for visitors to Los Angeles. And people will be wondering, what is Fifi doing in LA in December? You should be in Ghana. I know I've done Dirty December for quite a number of years, but I wanted change and I wanted to learn new things. Guys, you know that I do co-own a studio. So I came to LA, even though it's a holiday. I've taught a lot of studios around, like Paramount Studio, Universal Studio, just to get to know some of their workflow. It's nice to be important, but very, very important to be nice. From me, Fifi in LA, I'll catch you in London very soon. Bye.